Those dusty testimonials you've had on your sales page for the last few years just are not going to cut it anymore. With so many group programs, people want to make sure they're joining programs that actually follow through on the results that they promise. Up to date testimonials and social proof matter, but it can be a total pain to collect case studies and try to figure out your client results if you don't have systems in place to be constantly collecting data about your program. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Airtable to gather marketing data for your next group program launch without having to dig through scattered spreadsheets or spend a ton of hours putting out manual case study requests. If you have a launch coming up soon, or if you just want to track your client results better in your program, you're going to want to stick around. My name is Ashley, and I'm an Airtable and automation expert that helps coaches organize and automate the back-end operations of their 6- and 7-figure group offers. I've helped countless entrepreneurs use Airtable to improve their student experience, make data-driven decisions, and have their biggest launches ever without burning out themselves or their teams. By the end of this video, you're going to see exactly how me and my clients use Airtable to collect client results and our program data, and how we use that on our sales pages, our Instagrams, our emails, all of our launch assets to make our launches stronger than ever. So let's get into it. One of the first ways you can use Airtable to gather marketing data for your next group program launch is to constantly be collecting data about your student results inside of one central place in Airtable. So one of my favorite examples of this is my client Gina and her program 6-Figure Saver. So Gina's program helps entrepreneurs and coaches save 6 figures. So she has a very clear program promise. I have found the group programs that do the best, that sell the most, that have the most, organic word of mouth marketing are those that have a very specific program promise, but also can back up that program promise, not just with the couple, success stories of people who, one person who saved 100K, but who can constantly show that people in their program get results. So Gina used to track her client savings wins in a Google form. So the Google form, it worked. She would send that form out to her clients and they would fill it out, but it was just a huge spreadsheet of a lot of numbers. She wasn't able to really filter it or sort it or analyze it in a quick and easy way to help support her marketing and to help strengthen her sales pages. When we moved her into Airtable, she now manages every part of her group offer all inside of one central Airtable base, including her 6-Figure Saver tracker. So what happens now is that her students can select their name from a dropdown and submit the wins that they've had for that month, how much they've saved. Those wins are automatically tied to their student record. So automatically, she can start to see how much people are saving and how close everybody is to saving 6 figures. So Gina uses this data in ways that I have never seen anyone use before, but it is genius. Her marketing is up to date to the penny with how much her students are saving. You'll see here, she uses these numbers in her Instagram bio. So she is updating to the penny how much her students are saving each week. And she is able to do that in seconds because it's all organized in one central place in Airtable. You'll also see here she uses this information in her Instagram stories so she can see exactly how many clients have saved exactly how much. She can break down the average savings. She can break down the median savings. She can celebrate how many people have hit the program promise of saving 100K. She can pull all of these numbers in any which way because it's all organized in one central place inside of Airtable. So she can even filter this down to say artists in the program save a certain amount. Coaches can save a certain amount. So if she has any objections or anyone coming to her and saying, hey, is this program right for me? I'm an artist. I don't know if I can save 100K. She can go into her Airtable and she can sort and filter down to just see the savings submitted by artists and see down to the penny how much her clients have saved. So this strengthens and makes her marketing so incredible and so robust. And as a client in your program myself, I can see you get this momentum not only as someone on the outside seeing these wins, but someone inside the program too, seeing wow, so many of my fellow group program members are winning and they're saving, and just that collective momentum. There's so much celebration with hitting these goals. Gina just recently hit the $4 million in helping her clients save $4 million. And she's able to track that and celebrate that inside of Airtable. So it's incredible not only to see and measure the client results of your program so you can, be validated that your program works. You get to use that in your marketing in ways that are just make your program so much more robust, so much more legitimate. You become that program, right? I want you to think about, if you don't already have something like this, what's something that you can start tracking that will help your students get the program promise that you're setting out for. So Gina's is very specific. It is a number. Some of us think, oh, we don't have a program that is has a numerical value, so we can't track things like that. So it's so much harder to market our programs. But I want to challenge you to think differently, because I have so many people in our programs who don't promise a numerical result. I have one person, they teach people how to use herbal plants in their life. So she has people submit, hey, what's the plants that you've started to integrate this week? And when they hit a certain amount of plants that they've started to use in their home and in their personal life, they start to kind of like branch up the ladder. And if they hit 10, they get added to a certain new tier, they get certain new trainings. And she can say, X amount of people in the program have integrated these plants in their life, and this has been the type of results that they get. So there's so many ways that you can use data to track how your program is performing and how your clients are getting results. So when you have Airtable set up, you're able to get super detailed numbers just by having a super simple Airtable form that you ask your students to fill out each month, asking them how much they've saved, asking them how many plants they've integrated into their life, asking how much time they've saved, anything related to your program promise. You can track that and use that data in your marketing. Because all of those responses are centralized inside of Airtable and linked to their student records, you can just do so much with that data. So Gina was able to do all of this because she joined my group program, Systems Over Stress. So if you want to learn the setup that Gina has and my other clients have, I want you to sign up for my free masterclass, the 3 Airtable systems you need before your next 6-figure group program launch. I literally show you exactly what all of this should look like, what the other pieces of your Airtable setup should look like. So if you're interested in tracking things like this and prepping for your next launch, definitely sign up for that. The link is below, and we will see you inside of that masterclass. The second way you can use Airtable to gather marketing data for your next group program launch is I love it. So I want you to embed a why did you buy form on your thank you page for your checkout. So when someone buys your program during a launch, when they get that beautiful thank you page that's branded, maybe you have a video of yourself saying welcome to the program, you can add a why did you buy form. So this form, it's also in an Airtable, so it's all centralized in one place. You ask them very simple questions. So you'll see here, this is exactly what ours looks like. We have a really straightforward form. And the reason why it's so simple and we don't do a big onboarding form and we don't ask them a ton of questions is I want to capture them right here before they head off the page. I want to catch them while they're excited, and I want to know what made them take the leap. So we asked them, what made this program feel like a hell yes to invest in? And was there a specific piece of messaging or an interaction or an Instagram post or email that made you say, yes, this is for me? When you collect data in your launch in real time, that is invaluable, because what happens is you don't have to wait until after your launch to analyze data to see what type of messaging was resonating during that launch so you can make the next launch better. You can actually collect data live during your launch to see what is resonating and just double down on that. Because of how simple this form is, we have a really high conversion rate of people filling this out because people love interacting with the group program. That's why they join. They're down to fill out a form. They're down to tell you why they're so excited. So what's really helpful for us when we're launching is we get to see the messaging that we're saying in our emails, they're repeating it back to us. So they'll say, I need this sales hub you have. The idea of automating and freeing up my team to do things that they can do and not things that robots shouldn't do. That's why I joined. So you get to see these specific pieces of messaging. You're like, oh, that's resonating. Or I really thought people would talk about this, but they haven't mentioned this thing that I thought was like the reason people would buy. And so you can add in a couple more sales emails about that sales hub that people are loving and the reason why people are joining. So that's just a super easy low lift way to capture marketing data during a launch, but you can turn around and use that data in real time to make your launch stronger than ever. And, a couple of those form entries could inspire you to write an email that creates, 4 more sales. So being able to capture data live in real time is just so crucial and can help you strengthen your launch while the launch is happening. So the third way you can use Airtable to gather marketing data for your next group program launch is to actually centralize your curriculum and your curriculum logistics inside of the place where you're also tracking your client results and you're also tracking the group program as a whole. There are so many of us who do not know how long our program is, what the average, video length is, how many videos in our program, how long it takes for people to go through it. So if you get a question, if someone asks you, what's the average length of a video? Like, I'm short on time. You can, if you have all of this data centralized in one spot, you can pull up those data points about your program and you can say, hey, the Sales Hub section is 4 videos and it's an average of 3 minutes a piece, because what we want you to do is get rid of your spreadsheets and your Google Docs and your ClickUp database, ClickUp lists that are tracking all of these pieces of your program. We want you to centralize all of it inside of Airtable, because when it's all inside of Airtable, you can group it by module, you can filter it down, you can, not only can you kind of track what's in your program and what you're going to add and maybe what you're going to archive, but it just helps you see what's going on in the program. So knowing how long your program is, you can do that. When all of your students are in one central place in that Airtable base as well, you'll be able to see how many people are in the program, because sometimes people ask that, right? Is it a small group? Is it a big group? You can say, hey, there's currently 100 members, but we think we're going to keep growing. We're excited to have you. Any questions about your program, you'll be able to answer right away, because every moving piece of the program is centralized in one spot. So you have a central place for you and your customer service team to answer questions. Because the last thing you want to do in a launch, right, is for someone to say, hey, I'm ready to join, but I'm just curious how many videos there are. And for someone on the team to have to open up your course platform, kind of check things out, or kind of just give them a generic boilerplate answer that so you don't really have your stuff together. So that is kind of a happy bonus of having everything centralized, is that you can be prepared for the logistical questions that happen during a launch. So you can answer those questions, you can fire things off, and you can be confident that you are giving students who are curious about your program the most accurate information about the program itself. And the final way you can use Airtable to gather marketing data for your group program launch, this is going to sound so simple, but keep your launch debriefs all in one place in Airtable so you actually take action on them. How many times have we opened up a Google Doc with our team and have done this fancy post-launch debrief of things that we loved, things we would never do again, ideas for next time, but that just gathers dust and is lost forever in the depths of our Google Drive. When you track everything about your launch and everything about your group program inside of Airtable, you can pull up, we create a launch hub. If you don't know what a launch hub is, you definitely want to sign up for the masterclass where I'll show you exactly what goes in your launch hub. But your launch hub keeps track of everything related to your launch goal, your webinar registrant goal, how you actually automatically, it tracks how many webinar registrants you have, it tracks how many sales you had. So instead of having these launch recaps and launch metrics that are living in silos in your Google Drive, they all exist in one central place inside of Airtable. So you can reference past launches, you can reference past launch debriefs, so you can make sure you are actually taking action and making each launch better than the next, because that is our ultimate goal, right? To keep improving, keep iterating, and make these launches bigger and better and easier than ever. So I want you to put all of your launch related data, including your launch debriefs, inside of Airtable, so you just have that one central place to track. So here's what ours looks like. We have this fancy launch interface that has our launch metrics, and you'll see we have this launch recap of what we would do better, what we loved, what we would tweak. And so we have all of that so we can just easily reference that for the future. Okay, so I hope this video helped spark some ideas and some inspiration on how you can use Airtable to make gathering data for marketing your group program and delivering on your program promise easier than ever. None of this included intense projects, collecting testimonials, and getting people on calls. You can just make these simple tweaks when all of your information is in one spot. You can just so much more easily analyze the data, add it into your marketing, and just make your program stronger than ever and make more sales. So if this is interesting to you, if you have a launch coming up, if you want to set up any of these things, I would absolutely love for you to check out my free masterclass, the 3 Airtable systems you need before your next 6-figure group program launch. So I cover all of this, even more screen shares, even more examples, all of that. The link to sign up for that totally free is in my description below. And I would love to know which one of these little tweaks are you going to be integrating into your next group program launch. Let me know in the comments. And if you liked this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget to let me know in the comments if you have any questions about all things Airtable, or if you want to see any details about our last launch, anything about launching with Airtable, please let us know in the comments and we'll see you in the next video.